My name is Darren Hupke, and this is Pixels and Polygons, part of the Soundstone Network. Welcome to a new episode of Pixels and Polygons. I am Darren Hupke, the host of the show. If you are a returning listener, thank you so much for coming back and checking out another episode. Hopefully this is another entertaining one for you, and I appreciate you for coming back week after week. If you are new, it's a simple pitch. I sit down with a guest each week and I ask them a video game related prompt or question, and we talk about it. It's 20 to 40 minutes or so each episode. This can stem from topics like what's a underappreciated or below average game you love that doesn't get enough attention, or what is your history with video games? When did you start playing and when did you fall in love with them? Or why do you play the games that you play? It could be a lot of different things. The conversations can go in a lot of different directions, but the point is just to have a great and thoughtful conversation that maybe sparks your own ideas or your own interests as a listener to think about your own responses, and hopefully just have some fun along the way. If you like what you hear and you want to support the show, I've got a few different ways you can do that. I have links in the show notes below to everything that I do, and I'll highlight one of those in particular. 32-Bit Library is a retro gaming book series for nostalgic gamers. Each volume is a curated retrospective of games from the original PlayStation library. Every game has a written entry discussing its development and what made it special, rather than a generic review. Multiple screenshots from each game highlight key moments and refresh readers on these classic titles, and every title features a giant double-page screenshot for added visual flair. Additional essays by industry professionals provide context and history within each volume. Whether you are a die-hard PlayStation fan or want to explore the history of this generation for the first time, the goal is that you'll learn something new inside every volume. You can find links in the show notes below, or head over to pixelsandpolygons.net to buy your own physical copies, or over to patreon.com/Darren Hupke for the digital editions. With that out of the way, we can start the episode right after an ad from one of our Soundstone Network partners.
Hello, we are Kirby Conversations, a podcast on Kirby along with adjacent subjects like Smash Brothers, HAL Laboratory, and other related Nintendo games.
In each episode, we take an in-depth look at a new Kirby topic, drawing on our decades of experience with the series. I'm Sean Douglas. I'm a writer and podcaster with a background in video game and theater journalism.
And I'm Gigi, the editor-in-chief of Kirby and a big Kirby fan from Brazil. I translate Kirby interviews from Japanese to English and research a bunch of obscure Kirby media.
And I'm Bridget, a longtime fan, commentator, fan artist, and Kirby collector.
Join us for a mix of commentary and original reporting, deep dives into Kirby history, interviews with industry professionals, and more, as together we explore all things Kirby and HAL Laboratory. We're a proud part of the Soundstone Podcast Network, and you can find Kirby Conversations on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Pixels and Polygons, a conversational podcast about video games. I am Darren Hupke, and I am with returning guest and Illuminati string puller, Andrew Elmore, the influencer.
That's me.
It's just,
I've definitely ever influenced anyone about anything.
I don't know. Behind the scenes, you control a lot. Okay, got a lot of clout, a lot of pull.
You're gonna start something one of these days.
That's the goal. I mean, I feel I've been doing this now for a year and some change. Keep making people think there's something happening. Besides just a chat amongst a few people.
On this thing. Let's see if we can invent some shit.
Whether people believe it's just a random chat with a few people, which is what it is, or some real secret group and club where you actually are involved in.
It is literally the group chat that you're referring to, folks at home. If we can do a little peek behind the curtain, started because we were really all it is, I promise.
And this part will be edited out so we keep the mystery alive forever. Goo, decide what
the game. Damn.
In the edit, Goo, go ahead and decide whatever you want to do with this. The magic is yours.
Goo controls who lives and dies.
Yeah. Blood's on his hands. Well, welcome back to another episode. We just wrapped a previous one, but we're ready to go answer a similar question, but one maybe with greater substance, potentially from a critical standpoint or so. But before we do that, let's ask an icebreaker. Let's see which one. Oh, let's do something simple. What is one of your favorite games? Just one of your favorite games in general.
Just in general. Are there any good ones?
What's on the Rushmore for you? And maybe not that much status. What's at least on a list of a top 10 list? A title you think fits.
Okay, so up there then. Something meaningful. Yeah, gosh, I don't know, man. I finished Demon School the other day. That game rules.
I want to play that. I need to play that.
That's not like an all-time top 10er, but it's the thing that's like most front of mind that I've been thinking about lately.
That's fine. We can use that for this follow-up question I have
for Necrosoft.
so Demon School, awesome. Give it a new title.
Here we go.
It can't be called Demon School. It's the only rule to this. Yeah, my recent purchase finger was on that, but then that game Cairn came out, that climbing one. So I bought that thinking I would be able to get through that much quicker than I would Demon School because I'm just coming off of Dragon Quest 1 and 2. So
oh gosh,
I wanted a little palate cleanser, shorter thing, and Cairn it isn't quite that actually. It's still got some meat on its bone actually, but it's been fun. So when I'm done with that, I'll move on and potentially get to Demon School after that. But if Demon School wasn't Demon School, what would you call it?
Yeah, it's we're gonna have some dead air here for Goo to edit out in the future. I apologize.
Demons Cool.
Yeah, I mean that's the obvious one, right? Like the apostrophe S space COOL.
Demons Souls.
I think that might be. You know what? No, let's just call it Go Back to Hell.
Go Back to Hell.
That's that's what the like successful end combat screen says every time you finish a battle, and it's just so like stylistically thrown out there. Go back to hell. It's like, yeah, let's use that.
Okay, there we go. We did it. It's a stumper. I like that one because it does get people rattled a bit, and that's the whole goal of those icebreakers: rattle people, make people uncomfortable, make them not want to come back on the show.
Exactly.
I've
never been back, and I never will.
Last episode here, folks. You heard it here first. We have another evergreen style question. So this one's been asked a few times, but I always like asking it because we just get different reasons for it. It's not necessarily the obvious ones out there, but when people explain and share their reasons behind why they consider it to be, it's always fun. But the question today is, what is a game you consider to be one of the greatest of all time? For you personally, what does the game get right for you? Like, why do you think it's got that right balance? What about it makes it an Andrew greatest of all time candidate? So what is that game, Andrew?
Yeah, so this is also another kind of recent entry here, but I'm going to go with last year's reboot, I guess you would call it, of Genki's Tokyo Xtreme Racer, aka Shutoku Battle. That is a series that started on the Super Famicom. Genki, company that was around forever, made a lot of different types of things. They made a lot of fighting games, a lot of racing games, a lot of just weirdness. They're among my three very favorite studios. I thought they were just dead and gone for a long time because they haven't really put anything out in 20 years. The last entry in this series in Tokyo Xtreme Racer was released in the United States as Import Tuner Challenge on the Xbox 360 early in its life in 2006. And this reboot of Tokyo Xtreme Racer came out on Steam in early access January of last year in 2025. And I think the final console release is either around the corner or just came out, something like that.
Oh, really? I didn't look into that at all. I want to pick that up.
It's either a few days ago or in a few days. It's somewhere around time of recording here.
Oh, man.
But yeah, it's finally in 1.0. They finally did finish making the video game and put the rest of it in there, which is very funny because now like my old save from early access on PC is like because they've rebalanced everything and how progression works and the like weird little probably unnecessary skill tree system. It's like I technically don't have like my car unlocked and all the parts that are in it and like all of the people that I'm racing against. Like it's just I'm in a weird spot where it's like I shouldn't technically have all of the things that I do from before still. Whatever, it's weird, but it's fun. It is. Again, it was. I was just excited to see life out of Genki for the first time in nearly 20 years. I genuinely thought they were long dead and gone. So that was really exciting, and I was like, even if this sucks, even if it's just like a crappy like mobile game that's full of ads and garbage, and microtransactions and stuff, like that will suck, but at least they're alive and cool. But no, they came out the gate swinging with like maybe the most perfectly crystallized vision of this game that they've been kind of making and remaking over the years for a long, long time. So it started on Super Famicom. That's some Super Nintendo illegal street racing games in the mid 90s there, and then they kind of rebooted it on PS1 and Saturn, and then again on Dreamcast, which is when it really started to kind of take off, especially over here because that was around the time that like the first Fast and Furious was coming out and stuff like that. People were this was becoming more of a thing. Our concept of street racing was going past like two-lane blacktop, Cannonball Run, I don't know, Vanishing Point, Death Race 2000, whatever, and into this new era of like tuner culture.
Was the first Dreamcast one? Do you remember if this was the first one that had like the SP system, like the almost health bar fighting game style? That goes back farther. Okay, I don't know if it was in the first one, but I don't remember when. Yeah, that first popped up. I did play the PS1 Tokyo Highway Battle, the North American version of that, when I was younger and everything. But yeah, that Dreamcast one was the first one I spent probably tons of hours on, and yeah, that aspect of it, I thought for some reason that was new to that one. So maybe I was wrong about that, but I love that aspect of it. But just that whole
right now.
That whole system, that whole mechanic is just really rad. It just like you're not just racing against a checkpoint or against a distance or anything. It's the farther distance you put, the faster that little meter drains there and everything. And as you deplete that out of your opponent, and it zeroes out, then you kind of win there. And it can give and take and ebb and flow and tug of war through it all. But it makes it different for like a racing game. But really like that game.
Set up for people. It's you take your car out onto the Shitoku, the express highway system in Tokyo, and you roam it. You patrol your beat. You keep an eye on your turf, and you go around and you find other racers from other teams, and you pull up behind them and flick your headlights at them and start a race just right there in the middle of the road. And two little health bars will pop up like a fighting game, and the further you pull ahead from your opponent, the faster their little health bar, the SP bar, will drain. Or if you crash into each other and take damage and stuff, it'll do it too. But it ends up being this really cool, like very expressive and flowing one-on-one, just like endless stream of duels. You just keep going. And with this reboot, they made it so you could just duel any car in traffic. So it's like, let's say, the next person that you want to duel, you look at your map and they're like way, way ahead of you. It's going to take forever to catch up to them, even at 180 miles an hour or whatever. Might as well just race a couple grocery go-getters on the way, right? Pick up some money as you go. So you're just like, you're constantly making progress and making money and your currency and XP and all that stuff. And it is the most full and complete and like refined version of a thing that they had been doing over and over and over again a long time ago. And they've now had a very long time to kind of sit and chip away at that stuff. So I'm really, really happy to see that they are alive at all, but I'm also happy to see that they made the best version of one of my favorite types of games ever. And I think they really finally pretty much perfected it. I don't think that there's anything I could really ask from this game at this point. I don't have any complaints or glaring issues or anything really. It's like, again, the biggest complaint I could pull is like, I don't know, maybe that skill tree system is kind of unnecessary, but also like it gives you something to progress towards anyways, like whatever. It's I don't know, if you like the idea of JDM tuner culture, and if you like those nighttime scenes in Tokyo Drift where they're like, yeah, the cop cars have governors, so if you go over a certain speed, they just don't bother following you, that kind of thing. It's a good time. It's a very, very good time. It is a beautiful game. It controls extremely well. Unreal Engine 5 is really, really, really scalable. So this thing will run like a dream on a Steam Deck. But yeah, it's on everything at this point, and in my estimation is essentially a perfect video game. It is very hard for me to overstate how much I love TXR.
Well,
it's hard to talk about without sounding really hyperbolic.
You came to it just being a fan of the series entirely. You weren't necessarily going in thinking this was going to be a perfect game, and you were, of course, going to love it every second. Like it, not that it surprised you, but it is a happy circumstance that it has ended up as good as it was, with their complete falling off the face of the earth and coming out of nowhere with it. So I think this makes it even extra good.
It totally surprised me. Like I said, I was trying to aim my expectations very, very low. Because usually when a classic Japanese game development studio disappears and then comes back over a decade later, that's usually a bad sign. It's usually like some holding company bought the rights to their like IP or whatever and are putting out like potchy slot phone games. This is not the case. Genki is alive and well. Genki had a big GRP Genki Racing project booth at PAX West last year. Like they had a gigantic piece of the floor space for themselves. It wasn't even a publisher. Like they were just here doing their thing. I'm talking to a lot of people in like press and coverage and stuff and enthusiasts, and like it's just they're out doing it again. They are out alive and well and doing the damn thing, and that makes me very happy. The fact that they also kind of like perfected their like kind of flagship series also as their way to kind of reintroduce themselves to the world is icing on the cake. So it's like I'm happy that Genki is back, and happier that they also gave me one of, in my estimations at least, the best games that I've ever played.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, Genki's just super interesting company. Just even like their logo, being drawn from the founder's like son when he was like 3 years old or something like that. I'd done a little, it still works and they still use it. Like if you look at the box art for the current Tokyo Xtreme Racer game, this 2025 game, like it is still the same logo that's being used, which is just super cool. Like that kid is now 35 or older, pushing to 40s, and that drawing they did has just been floating around and used by this company. In the Pixels and Polygons Quarterly, the first issue I did of that for this year, one of the games covered in that is Fighter's Destiny for the Nintendo 64, and our mutual internet friend Jay wrote up about that, but that caused me to dig into some of Genki's history, and I wrote about kind of like the first 10 years of their history for an article in there. But like I realized I probably could have just kind of continued on with not much more because of that huge 15-year gap they gave us, from the late 2000s all the way up to 2025, which is kind of nuts. But they have just a very unique history from before they found their groove with the Tokyo Xtreme Racer series. I mean, they made some odd games. I mean, the first person dungeon crawly, that Kilik DNA Imperative PlayStation game, and like the sequel to that.
An old video about those two.
But the Fighter's Destiny games, Jade Cocoon for PlayStation, like such odd
Super
games.
Magnetic Neo,
on the Dreamcast. Yeah. So I like that they are just like, they don't give a fuck about, whatever they're going to do. They're just going to make a game they want to make it, because they're also not like a massive developer who's just got like a dozen internal teams or anything. So they found the thing that was helping butter their bread, but it was also the thing they enjoyed making with like racing games like that. But that still allowed them to never lose their bizarre creativity to make something funky and different. And I just think that's really cool. There's an odd developer. It's a really punk-like spirit in the scheme of things, which always gets points in my book.
Amen. DIY.
Fun. Well, any final thoughts then about not just this game, but maybe the series, or any other thoughts on Genki before we wrap up there, Andrew?
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what happens next. I'm curious to see how the the main 1.0 console sales do for them. My hope is that this will do well enough to be the shot in the arm that they need to be able to continue active development. My understanding is that, at least on Steam, immediately at release, even in early access, this game did extremely well, shattering what expectations they did have, which is great. Was for a while one of the most highest concurrent user count of racing games on Steam, which is not generally saying a whole lot. There are not many of them, but the ones that are much more usually sim heavy, stuff like this. So it's usually a very different, not necessarily a different audience, but a different thing. It's a different genre, really. At the end of the day, this is a arcade game. This is a fighting game with cars, as Jay calls it. But it's just it's a fighting game packaged in a language that I know how to speak, which is racing games. I don't know what to do with combo memorization and footsies and whatnot, but I understand how to make a Nissan Skyline do something dangerous on a freeway. So that's I can get down with that. But I'm very, very curious to see how this continues to go for them, what happens next for them. I will try to keep buying it everywhere I can, because I am just still so psyched to see them back. I, again, really, really love Genki and all of the weird stuff that they did over the years. And this happens to be probably the best thing that they've ever done, maybe.
Yeah, which is really good for them. And hopefully the sales, like you mentioned, hopefully those are solid enough. It just gives them a whole, who knows what this will be, third wind, fourth wind in the company. But yeah. It's just a nice little fresh moment for them. But I know you live your life a quarter mile at a time, so it makes sense why you enjoy this one. So I did do the good podcast host thing and was live Googling while we were recording. February 25th is the release date on PS5 anyway for this new Tokyo Xtreme Racer. So I was able to wishlist it, and it's only going to be $50. It's not like they're going the crazy $70 or plus situation. So affordable for compared to most games. But yeah, that is Genki, and that's Tokyo Xtreme Racer. So thank you for sharing that, Andrew.
Thank you.
Same plugs. You mentioned these last time, but I'll put the notes below. But if you're looking for really rad music, Andrew puts out some cool original songs. You can find them over on satellitesound.net. But also, hopefully, by the time I don't want to jinx it or anything, but if you're listening to this episode, there should be on his YouTube channel, Mythic Residence, you should see his latest video there. And if it's not, we need to all secretly shame someone to help get that final bit across the finish line and really make it happen, because this is enough's enough. But if not, then thank you so much for getting it to him so that it can be done, and excited to see it. But Mythic Residence over on YouTube, check out and subscribe for Andrew's content there. Anything else you want to plug or say or share before we wrap?
That's the main stuff. Speaking of Genki, like I said, I have an old kind of not great video on the kind of short-lived sub genre of first person mech based dungeon crawling shooters of the kind of mid 90s that were a lot of 3DO and early PS1 and Saturn games, and Genki made most of those. So there's a lot of exploration of Genki's weirdness in there as well.
Yeah, okay, that's a good one to check out.
I love about him.
So watch that right after the new one, or watch that while waiting, because that new one's going to be here any second. We are saying it in here first, speaking into existence, not Fingers first. Crossed. It's been said and other places too. Whoa, I have a gnat flying at me. All right, well, that's going to do it. And that's going to stay in the episode too, because we like it, simple edits. Thank you so much, Andrew. Again, fun conversations, fun talking about video games. So I appreciate you coming back on the show. And I look forward to talking to you more again.
You too, brother. Anytime.
All right, have a good one, everyone, and find a new episode of the show next week as usual. Goodbye.
Bye.
Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. I'm Nick McConnell, and you caught me reading the instruction booklet for Street Fighter II in preparation for my weekly stream Instruction Derby, where I take a look at the creative, fun, and sometimes bizarre lost art of video game manuals. Did you know that, according to the manual for Street Fighter II on the Super Nintendo, Ryu was born in 1964, making him 62 years young, canonically? Happy birthday, Ryu. You're looking great. Did you also know that, per the manual for Laser Invasion on the Nintendo, the UN enters a conclave in order to select a new commando? Or did you know that the dancing enemies in Super Castlevania are named Paula Abgul and Fred Askare? These important facts and many more are discovered every Wednesday at noon Pacific on Instruction Derby over at internet website twitch.tv/Nick McConnell. Part of the Soundstone Network.